Have you ever wondered what really separates people who succeed from those who just don't? Well, what if I told you it's not about how smart you are or where you came from? It's about a set of invisible habits hiding in your own mind. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these mental traps that might be holding you back. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to break free. This quote right here, it gets to the heart of it all. It basically flips the whole idea of smart on its head. We're not talking about your GPA or how well you did on some standardized test. We're talking about your mental operating system. You know, how you react when things go wrong, when you're faced with a challenge. That's where real intelligence shines through. So, first things first, we've got to do a little myth busting. We need to completely redefine what it actually means to be smart. Because, let's be honest, the old school idea of grades and test scores, it's just not the full picture. Okay, so here's the big shift in perspective. Stop thinking of intelligence as some fixed number you're stuck with. Instead, think of it as a skill you can get better at. Specifically, it's the skill of being able to step back and look at your own thoughts. It's about becoming an observer of your own mind, so you can finally see the patterns that are secretly running the show. All right, now that we've got a new definition of smart, let's look at the flip side. What are those specific mental habits that actually get in our way? Our source material calls this having a struggling mind, and we're about to break down its three biggest tells.
First up is one we've all seen and maybe been guilty of. It's the blame game. It's super common, but man, is it disempowering. And why is that? Well, think about it. If the problem is always out there somewhere, then you have zero power to fix it. You just end up feeling like a victim of your circumstances.
You know, there's actually a psychological term for this. It's when you automatically point the finger at anything but yourself. The bad traffic, your unfair boss, even the weather. It's a reflex to avoid asking that tough question. Okay, what was my role in this, and what can I actually do about it? This isn't just about dodging blame. It's literally about giving away your own power. This is such a perfect, classic example. Saying the test was unfair just shuts the door. There's nowhere to go from there. But if you say, okay, I failed. What can I do differently next time? Suddenly you've opened a door to learning and growth. See the difference? One is a dead end, the other is a starting line. All right, next up, we've got a really sneaky mental trap called all or nothing thinking. This is when your brain forces you into one of two extremes. A project is either a complete masterpiece or it's total garbage. Your day was either absolutely perfect or it was a complete disaster. There's just no middle ground. Just listen to the language here. I'm a total failure. Or you're either with me or you're against me. It's so absolute, right? There's no room for nuance or learning. The alternative, the shades of gray thinking, is so much more powerful. It's about saying, I made a mistake and I can learn from it. Or, hey, we can disagree on this and still work together. And for our third habit, we've got a fascinating one. It's a real paradox, unfounded confidence. Now, this is not the same as having healthy self-esteem. No, this is the very real danger of not knowing what you don't know, and then confidently marching straight into a problem because of it. This whole phenomenon actually has a name. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it's a wild catch-22. It turns out that the people with the least skill in a certain area are often the ones who are most likely to think they're great at it. Why? Because they literally don't have the expertise to even recognize how much they're missing. It's like being at the very bottom of a mountain and thinking you're near the top because you can't even see the peak. I mean, you've probably heard someone say something like this, right? I've been driving for 20 years. I don't need to worry about that. That is the Dunning-Kruger effect in the wild. Experience is great, for sure, but sometimes it can build up this wall of overconfidence that stops us from learning anything new. So we've got the blame game, all or nothing thinking, and unfounded confidence. But so what? What's the big deal? Well, let's zoom out for a second and look at how these habits actually impact your life. You see, these habits don't exist in a vacuum. They create this vicious cycle. They block self-awareness, which makes it pretty much impossible to learn from your mistakes. And without taking any accountability, you just get stuck, repeating the same patterns, hitting the same walls over and over again. And what happens? You end up putting an invisible ceiling on what you're actually capable of. But here's the good news, and this is the most important part of our whole chat today. None of this is permanent. These are just habits. And you know what we know about habits? They can be changed. So, the big question is, how do we do it? How do we flip that internal switch? It all starts with something incredibly simple, but also incredibly powerful: awareness. That's it. You can't change a pattern if you don't even realize it's there. So the moment you catch yourself, the second you think, oh, wait a second, there I go, playing the blame game again, that is a huge win. That is the first, most critical step to making a change. So here's a super practical 3-step tool you can start using today. First, just notice it. Catch that thought in the act. Aha, there's that all or nothing thinking. Step 2, challenge it. Just ask a simple question. Is it really 100% true that I'm a total failure? Or did I just make one single mistake? And finally, step 3, reframe. Actively choose a better, more helpful thought. I made a mistake, and here's what I learned for next time. Notice, challenge, reframe. It's like a workout for your brain. And that really brings us to the core takeaway here. After looking at all of this, it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. So I want to leave you with a little challenge. As you go about your day today, just pick one of these habits to watch out for. Is it going to be the blame game, all or nothing thinking, or maybe you'll spot a little bit of unfounded confidence? You don't have to fix everything at once. Just pick one. Start observing, because that is exactly how real change begins. At the end of the day, it's not about your past failures or what labels anyone's ever put on you. Your potential isn't some fixed thing that's set in stone. It's alive. It's happening right now. And it's being shaped in this very moment by your next thought. The power's always in that next choice.